Okay, so we're having a look at the Year 10 project at the moment to establish different levels of competencies from high, medium and low, and that's the project we're working on at the moment with Year 10. It has some machine-made dovetails and some hand-made dovetails for the drawer at the bottom as an example of the marking out that they do for the handmade dovetails. We'll just have a look at 3 projects now to have a look at the differences in competency levels. So the first one we're going to have a look at is an example of a high level, and this one the student has done a lot of work so far on the project, but not just done a lot, the quality is very good. In terms of dimension accuracy, it meets the criteria. It's highly dimensionally accurate in all of its measurements. If we look at squareness of the project and the way it's been assembled, all of it is highly accurately put together. If we look at the dovetails, the machine-made dovetails, they've all been well done, they fit together well. The way the top and bottom's been put on, there's no overhang, very neat fit corners. Looking at the drawer that fits inside here, has handmade dovetails, and they're of a very good standard as well. There's a little bit of putty in there that shows there's some gap, but with handmade dovetails you'd expect there'd be a little bit of gap there, but the standard's very good. Now if we have a look at a lower level or a mid-level one, this project here is a good example of one that's probably at a mid-level. So dimensionally it's not too bad. It does come close to the accuracy, although that's a little bit smaller than the other one. It should be 260. This one comes in at 245. A couple of the other dimensions are slightly out as well. And if we have a look at the finish so far, it's not particularly good. You've got a fair bit of overhang here where the joints, the sides join the back piece, and at the top as well. You can see there's some overhang at the top edge here where the joint hasn't been finished off very well. In terms of the dovetails, well, the machine-made dovetails are fitting together quite nicely, but there's still some work to do to finish those off. The dovetails are protruding a little bit on this side here as well. In terms of squareness, it's slightly out of square. See that, slightly out of square compared to that other project. And if we have a look at the handmade dovetails, well, you can see this student has made a reasonable attempt at cutting them out. They are quite difficult to cut out. He's nowhere near as progressed as the other student in terms of his how much work he's done, but yeah, he's struggling a little bit in getting those cut out. They're not that great, but he's still doing a pretty good job of it. You can see that yeah, they could have been done better in terms of the angles of the cut. They don't really meet that criteria that we're looking at, and dimensionally they're probably, let's have a look, yeah, it's slightly under what we're looking for there at 78 millimeters. It's down to about 76. Now as a lower level one, this student is struggling a little bit here. We can see that, you know, a nail has come through here. That has got to be repaired and fixed up. If you could feel the machine-made dovetails, they're not flush. They're not fitting together flush. There's quite a bit of overhang of the components. So the top component is still overhanging this front face. In terms of dimensional accuracy, it's not too bad. It's slightly under where it needs to be. That should be 260. It's coming in a little bit under there too. It's a little bit narrow. But the height is pretty good. For his handmade dovetails, well, he actually hasn't done any of that yet. He's quite behind on that, so he hasn't constructed any dovetails for the drawer that slides in here. And so that's putting him behind quite a bit, but hopefully this will still come good towards the end. I hope that gives you a good idea of 3 different levels of this project and where we're at the moment. Thank you.